Doc is back. Welcome to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join Doc and his guests as they discuss healthcare and the Caribbean community every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms.
I didn't grow up here, but Broward County has become home to me. This is where I settled. I raised my family here and started my practice here. For over 20 years, I've represented my neighbors, people who needed help in a stressful time. If you find yourself in need of an attorney, reach out to someone you can trust, someone with a proven track record.
When a car accident or personal injury sets you back, call Scott McCullough.
954-989-3435. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. Doc.
What's happening?
What you have to tell me this week now?
Yeah, man, so I am hearing you. Yeah, everything is all right. Trying to get back into my routine because I'm finding out what has happened to me during this pandemic. I am stressed out more than ever. I'm not sleeping well. Things on my mind that normally I don't pay attention to. I've been complaining to my daughter, and she rightfully said, the quicker I get back into the scheme of things, the way I have run my life for the last 20 years, the better I'd get over the blues.
Yes.
And maybe that's what I'm having. I just leave work and come straight home. That's not no.
A little case of the blues, eh? Well, again, in due time.
Yeah. So I need to, and I'm trying to work with that now. I think she's perfectly correct. Like on an evening like this, normally, on a day like this, be out on the golf course somewhere, you would have to come and find me.
That's right.
But here I am sitting, waiting. So I need to go back, start playing my golf again. I haven't played one hole of golf since April. And this is a man who for 20 years played golf every Saturday and Sunday that I was in town. Ask me. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Alexis made all her arrangement around the time that I played golf. As a matter of fact, like a friend once tell me, say, listen, at that time with those group, when I dead, make sure you don't bury me from 8 to 3 in the morning because the guys play golf. You make sure you make the funeral, otherwise none of them are going to come. And imagine I went from that to not one ball.
Well, Doc.
And I'm sure other people have it.
Well, now that most of us are vaccinated or close to being fully vaccinated, we can get started with golf again.
Right. But remember though, we still follow the guidelines.
Of course, that's a must.
I don't take how much vaccine. When I am wearing my mask, if somebody is in the cart with me, they need to have a device. And the reason behind this, even if you are not worried about you, is the symbolism is important.
Absolutely.
The public need to see everybody, especially people like me who is in the health field, right? I don't want to be the person that they look up to, but I can have a doctor. I walk into Costco the other day and I'm in line. One of the guys on the side say, thank you for my service. Until I said, Jesus, and I tell him, okay, yeah, you're welcome, sir. So apparently people look at me, especially when I wear my official garb.
Yes.
As somebody who knows what they're doing. So I make sure I put my mask on, especially when I'm in company. I still go home and wash my hands like we talk. Still doing like CDC say to do. This is not an excuse to go jump up all over the place and say that we are vaccinated. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Because I know you do it. When we do the program, we all mask up and shield up and everything.
Absolutely. And it's
it's good for the public to understand.
It's the right thing to do.
Of course it is.
Yes. So, Doc, today let's talk about alternative healthcare. So not your
Okay, you're bringing
traditional...
up some big word.
What's that?
I am a poor boy from San Fernando. That big word, alternative. Okay, I know what you mean. Bush and other things, right? Is that what you're talking about?
What happened? The big
You're talking
brain?
about some bush medicine.
The big brain not working so well today?
No, but you shocked me. Alternative? You put them big word. I'm a little poor boy. No, but it is a big word. It's not a big word. It's a word that we need to understand.
That's
what
right.
does alternative medicine mean, right? Simple in the world. We have organized medicine in America, controlled and governed by the EMA and organizations like these, and the organizations that govern your medical degree, that govern all these things, right?
Yes.
Then everything else but that organized group where you get this MD on your chest, and that's what MD mean. You have come through the organized groups that have been doing this for 1 billion years, whenever it started. Organized. Medicine before that was not organized. A guy will do a ship somewhere and say, well, I think I know enough, and open a shop. That's why we didn't know what hell we were doing when this profession started. But as the science grew and our knowledge grew, we became organized. And the organized group that came out is the College of Medicine that give you the MD degree. Now, alternative is, for instance, DO, even though it's the similar curriculum, the rules and regulations by which we go through as a MD is different from DO. It's still a medical course, but when you get the degree, it's something different from MD. That their course as to how they train is slight. We deal with the same diseases, but a lot of us may have certain things that are different. For instance, DO mean osteopathic. It means when you treat somebody, you should be treating everything about the person. You come with a pain in your leg, but I need to talk to you about how you feel, man. And you understand, that was the idea. What has happened over time is the DO program has been approaching the MD program, and they're very much pretty close as far as the curriculum. They're still not that close with how your training goes. They believe in a lot about apprenticeships. Mm-hmm. We believe it's going to get training, and then that training organization say it's all right to let you loose. But they are coming close together. So that's the first one. The second thing is we have things that is not neither MD nor DO. You have your chiropractors. They believe in a different set of principles, closer to acupuncture than us. In other words, they believe the cardiovascular system, the neural system, the bone, the skeleton, interact with each other no matter. In other words, you have a brain tumor, but your big toe might have something to do with it in the management. I'm exaggerating, obviously.
No, I know.
All right?
I know.
That's why they're always cracking your back and twisting your neck, even though you have a knee hurting you. And ask yourself, what the hell? They believe there's a connectivity throughout the body. And by rearranging the skeleton, really from some of these, okay? Then here we are, the herbalists. My country is made up of nothing but herbalists. Very few are qualified in anybody's university or program, okay? There are plenty of them in Trinidad.
I will plenty of them in Jamaica.
I see you laughing. Listen to me. I don't care what happened. When I hurt my knee in football, I remember once I made the South Trinidad team. You know, the national team have two divisions, a North and a South. Mm-hmm. So there's the champion in the South and they meet. 3 or 4 times a year to get an idea of the oval. So it's a big thing to make the southern half of the island where I live. I buck up my knee about 2 days before and I can't walk. And I'm crying because this football game is Sunday. And this is my big hoorah. A partner who know the old man still, listen, man. There have a guy down the road named Ali Bokas. Take the boy to him. Because Ali Bokas, I don't care where you break, you walk in the next morning when you're done with him. So, I got a little boy, so my father say we going by Ali Bokas.
Hold on 1 second, Doc. Let me just get this straight now. So how did he use the herbs?
I'm telling you now, this ain't herbs yet.
Oh,
this is another form. We're going down the road, you know. This is a long chiropractor. But back home, we have a different name for them. We don't call them, that's the corner healer. All right? So what you do with me, you come to, this is not a joke. You take a half of a coconut shell. You know, the dry coconut where you could drink from sometime, right? Yeah. And he put some white rum in it. Trinidad call it punching rum.
Okay.
Our punching rum is equivalent to your overproof. And he take a razor blade and he put some small skin nicks on the skin over my knee. Not deep enough to, you know, make a big cut. Like, know, like if you... And then he light the flame. It's the prettiest blue I ever seen in my life. This flame I know yellow, you know, it's pure. And he out it and put it on my foot. Jesus Christ, that thing stuck until he could let it go and it hold on to me. They call it cupping. You know what I realized after I become a doctor? The Egyptians and all them people used to do cupping. So this is something handed down from the ages, all right? When he cupped me now, me ain't know if it's placebo, right? I know the next day I was running. Guy name was Ali Bokas. I know one thing, I played, right? Now the day after it was killing me again. So maybe it was placebo. But Ali Bokas tell me, listen, Winston, take this, you go home now and put some hot water on it 2 days. You're running like a racehorse. So maybe you work on my brain because I went out and... But that is another group of people that they have, which is similar to chiropractor, but we don't have a special name. You know. By the way, you know, the DO program has just recently been accepted in Jamaica. Before, with a DO program, you could not practice in Jamaica. Now you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah. So now with a DO program, whoever is here in that program can go back to Jamaica. Jamaica have accepted MD program for years.
Is the DO program accepted widely throughout the Caribbean, otherwise apart from Jamaica?
No. It's more acceptable in some states in the United States. Okay. Right? And they are getting more and more to all the states, but still not. The big states for DO was Florida, California, New York, Chicago.
Okay, interesting.
Right? They have many of the DO schools in these areas. MD now is all over the place. All right, so, and then last is over. Yeah, go ahead.
Question now. So a DO program, what is the, or sorry, you know, let's talk about the herbalist first, and then I'll ask my questions after.
All right. Now, herbalist is drawing on findings of the use of herbs in the treatment of ailments that date back before the birth of Christ. That's how long ago they have these things. You're looking in Egyptian scribes, they write about it all the time. You know, the Greeks wrote about it. The Indians, big into it, a tomba from India.
Right.
They have used that kind of thing for years. They developed the techniques. They developed the know-how, do's, don'ts, and everything. Okay? So what a couple of things that you need to do. And I'm going to read a statement for you just now. And this is put out by the Rochester Medical Center. It's the University of Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
Here are some common medical herbs, and they name them. Most herbs have not been completely tested to see how they will work or see if they interact with other herbs, supplements, medicines, or foods. Products added to herbal preparation may also cause interaction. This is the big thing now. Be aware that natural is what they call herbal medicine,
right,
does not mean safe.
Okay.
Right? It's important to tell a healthcare provider about any herb or dietary supplement you are using. That is my problem. Everybody say, oh, doctors hate herbs. No, I don't. Most of our drugs come from herbs.
Right.
When I say come from them, we don't have to kill the plant to do it, but we learn what the chemical is and we make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all your antibiotics is. The way you think they come out of the air, the originating we got from nature, and then we experiment with them, make them stay stronger in your bloodstream. But the basic has always been herbs. The problem is this. Look at what conventional medicine have to go. The drug company have to spend literal billions of dollars testing it, like they're doing now with the vaccine.
Right.
Testing it before the governing body will give approval for it. And listen, even when they give approval, it's time. They reevaluate it after X number of years, and many times that's when they pull it off the market. The problem is there's no control of the herbal industry. They come under not the FDA, because they claim read what is said on every herb. This is not designed to treat any ailment or stop any. They put a disclaimer. That's all they have to do. And if you're dead from it, you can't do them nothing as long as
so
I can. Yeah. So they have no control.
Is there a governing body over herbs or vitamins, or is it the same? Does it fall under the same category?
No, agriculture, and nobody controls it.
Okay.
Is that amazing? All right, what a guy, somebody did some research one day, and it was on ginseng. They went off the counter all over the country, and they pulled ginseng off the counter, a good supply. And they went in and tested them to see how much of the active ingredient is in the bottle, right? And what the people who make it say, right? So many of them had about 70% of what the bottles say they have, all right? Another small percentage had 50. But you know what is strange, Tyrone?
Tell me.
About 10 to 12%, none. N-O-N-E. Zero is like them doctor in Jamaica who give you water and say, go home and take the medicine. Placebo. That is the point. Number one, you're not sure you're getting what the bottle says. I know one thing, when I tell you you're taking Cipro, you are getting what has been examined and passed by the FDA to assure that it have 250 milligrams of Cipro. Right. But when you have this thing where leaving the fox to guard the hen house, they decide what they can make and what is dangerous. It's nonsense. It's foolish. That's the problem. Let me go on record. Doctors are not against herbs. Doctors are against two things. People feel natural and herbs mean safe. Wrong. People feel natural and herbs don't have side effects. Wrong. They need to let people know we're going to list what the ingredients are, right? We're going to list what the side effects are, but they don't have to do it by law like regular medicine has to. They don't have to. don't have to guarantee what they say is in the bottle because they fall under the Department of Agriculture and not medicine. That's our argument. So you really don't know what you're going. A lot of them have side effects that interfere with your regular medicine. And the worst thing in the world, Tyrone, is that some people think they could use it instead of your regular medicine. It's nonsense. You know what I tell my patient? Oh, you want to take some sort of... All right. No, I know one thing. Me ain't care where you take, but take mine. Take what I give you. No,
so,
if you want to go drink 10
that leads me to a question, Doc. So, how often, or is it a regular thing that you find that when somebody is taking a medicine that you have prescribed and they're also taking some herbs, that there's any kind of conflict?
Right. Good question. Most of the time I don't know because I don't address the fact that they may be taking herbal. They are now coming down deep us. In our profession, everything I see letters come out. Make sure, I forget what percentage of Americans use herbals in addition to other medication. And it was some ridiculous figure like 80%. So they say, you better find out what it is your person is taking and make sure you find out, not to put in the burden on me, whether there's an interaction with the medicine I'm giving you and the herbal that they are taking.
All right.
And I will give you a little example. By the way, you can get this in a magazine, an encyclopedia that I use as my Bible. I'll give you the name of it. It not only gives you the drugs you can use, what the drugs what the herbs to do, but it gives you side effects, interaction with other medicines. And that is what I'm begging the public to do. Not to say you're not going to use. Two things. Number one, don't take it automatically, it's safe. Number two, find out the side effects. And three, find out the interaction with any of the medicine you are taking. And for God's sake, do not stop taking what the doctor gave you. And then you make sure you tell him what you are taking when you go in.
All right.
He's not a magician. I tell him. So I think, first of all, is that we should be working together. Conventional medicine, alternative medicine should be working together on whatever the problem is. Instead of working or against. We have to change our attitude. Herbalists have to, and doctors have to. We have to meet somewhere in the middle. I've made the move already because I now check always alternative medicine.
All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Dr. Ronald Moore and his team at Minimally Invasive Surgery perform laparoscopic robotic procedures with the utmost precision. As a bariatric surgery specialist, Dr. Moore performs a range of surgeries and operations focusing on areas and organs of the abdomen. For gastric sleeve, bypass, and banding, to endoscopic balloon and hernia procedures, call the Office of Minimally Invasive Surgery at 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment. Minimally Invasive Surgery has 2 convenient Broward County locations to serve you. Call 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment today.
For the absolute best obstetrics and gynecology care, call South Florida OBGYN at 954-452-4377. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Winston Alexis, who has been serving the women of South Florida for over 25 years. Conveniently located in Plantation, Florida, the courteous and professional team at South Florida OBGYN are standing by to assist you. Schedule your appointment today by calling 954-452-4377.
And we're back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. So, Doc, you told us a little bit about, the MD, the DO, the chiropractors, the herbalist, and the what you call your man down there in Trinidad now? The healer.
the neighborhood healer. Well, he does a lot like a mixture of of medicine that you get out of India. I forget, they have a fancy name, Aruva something, another technique again. But I bunch them all under alternative care, like chiropractic.
Right. So, you mentioned something that was interesting to me. The training for a DO. You said the gap is narrowing between the training for a DO and that of an MD. Now, at the end of medical school for an MD, what takes place?
All right. You pass the final exam, one that is given throughout the course. Then you are awarded an MD degree. But back in my day, you still couldn't practice medicine until you finish your internship. You understand? You had to do a little further training. Now they've removed the internship. You can go straight into specialty training.
Really?
And you have to have some kind of specialty now, either family practice, which is the closest to after you graduate. Because in a couple of 3 years, you can go out and practice family medicine, which is general practitioner. All the other people have to go through some kind of training. Nowadays, nobody gets out of medical school and gets a license and goes. You have to do some postgraduate training. Okay. That was not so in the past.
And then the DO, what happens when the DO is finished with their, I guess, their...
Same thing. They have their own body. Like I have College of Physicians and all of my group, they have one for themselves.
Okay.
Right? For instance, I am a fellow. I'm a fellow of the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. They are a fellow of the American College of Osteopathic Obstetrics and Gynecology. They have an extra O. I am FACOG, they are FACOOG. Right? And they have Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. I have MD, which is the Doctor of Traditional Medicine.
Gotcha. Okay. And then let's talk now a little bit about chiropractors or acupuncturists. Is there what does their training look like?
All right. You don't really have to know the exact training, but they are certified training chiropractors. These fellas are trained to do what they do, to do manipulations and do these things, because the belief is the alignment of the skeleton and the muscles play a role in disease, right? For instance, I'm going to a chiropractor now for my shoulder. I have chronic arthritis in my left shoulder. And the reason I go to them, those people do physiotherapy, right? Better than any orthopedic surgeon, right? But they can't operate on nobody. When I need operation, I go to a regular orthopedic to see about my knee. Gotcha. But when they come anything with physiotherapy, I personally think they do it better than the regular MD orthopedic surgeon. Right? And they should not be competing. They should become experts in this. We are experts mostly in surgery and making quick cures by surgical procedures. These people spend more time with you to manipulate, and it's a step to do before surgery, because many times they can relieve and delay surgery by years and years. Okay? So, in other words, we shouldn't look at both. Again, a fight is going on. I send my patient to chiropractor. I don't send nobody with a knee that need to replace to go to no chiropractor. So, but if your shoulder come out of socket and they push it back.
So I'm seeing
they have their own schools.
Right. I'm seeing a trend here though, Doc. You're saying that you as an MD or maybe a DO should be working in tandem with a proper herbalist. In other words, you want to know from the herbalist, okay, what are you for lack of a better term, prescribing the patient to deal with this particular thing.
You know what's the problem? The herbalist don't tell the patient, listen, don't worry that foolishness the doctor gave you. You drink my bush. So the specialties are not cooperating. That's the very thing of this thing. Right? You never hear them on a certain radio station, or they tell me I mustn't call name. On a certain Caribbean station, where them people come up and tell you drink cocoa leaf and bamboo shoot and all them things. Don't worry taking your high blood pressure method. Drink 2 bamboo shoot and 6 sapodilla and you're good. That is voodoo. That is not. But we are fighting. There are many things the herbalists can add. You understand? If we work in unison. And by the way, there are few doctors who have dedicated their life to making this transition. They deal a lot in herbal medicine together with regular medicine. There's a group, young physicians now that are doing a lot of that. Right? Where MDs before treated everybody like enemies. Now we are looking at herbalists with a different light and trying to get them to be straightened out. Look, I go to school for 13 years and I practice for... No bush you boiling could do better than me in any GYN disease. You could boil on a whole coconut tree. You will not treat them better than me. Let me tell you now. Are there things you can probably help me to do a little better? Yeah, there's no question. Right? Because we have many women, for instance, can't take estrogen in menopause. There are some herbs apparently that can give you a natural product that is not exactly estrogen, but work in a similar fashion. You understand where I'm going with this?
I do.
You know what's the problem between the chiropractor and us? Listen, twist up my arm and do them. But don't tell you if I pull your little finger, it's going to help your gallbladder. What is that? And they have big charts showing you this part of the spine, care, your kneecap. What's that? So I'm saying they're meddling in things. They should stay into the skeleton, the joints. I think they're very good at that. As I tell you, I go to one now. I go to him twice a week. But he can't tell me nothing but pulling my shoulder going to help me, my left testicle or some bullshit. I refuse it. You know, I see a big chart in the office showing you which section of the spine control the lungs and heart. What? So all them years I spent in school and dissect up all them dead people was for nothing. Because me understand what they're talking about. But there are things they can add to medicine that I can't.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But realize there are things you stop that. Twist up your joint and do what you have to.
Help me understand now a little bit about acupuncture. It's not something that I know much about at all.
Me and you have something in common. You don't know much about, I know nothing. Right? However, I've read.
Yes.
And it is the only non-conventional homeopathic schools. And that's what they call my school. Just like they are osteopathic, we are homeopathic.
Okay.
The MDs. All right? I know one thing. I don't know anything about these people, boy, but they have some convincing research that has been done by doctors that show that thing works.
Yeah,
I have no clue how it works.
I have a few people that
unlike the other ones who have been unlike the other ones who have been criticizing, acupuncture is not that. More organized. They do have research. We still do. I, as a doctor, don't understand how the damn thing works, but I know it works. Right?
Well, Doc,
I
think this is going to call for a field trip. For you and I to go and find out how the acupuncture thing works.
Yeah. We had to go somewhere in Thailand or where them other place down there where Thailand and them, where they call that again? Where Obama people and them come from. You know, Obama half sister father come from.
Why? We can't just go to Miami?
They're almost... No, man, but those... You
don't.
You can get everything in Miami, including that cousin. But I don't know how real it is. I'll go Miami as they train in Thailand or Bangladesh or whatever
All right,
place. I ain't going to nobody
reasonable.
training that here. Right? Because we now try to learn what the people are them doing. But the Asians are masters in acupuncture. And we have gone and studied what they are going down to prove it don't work. And it worked.
All right.
Man, they're cutting out man liver with him talking to you. They're doing surgery on people without anesthesia. The man chatting with you while they take out the liver. What the... So you're feeling no pain. But it works. The point is to get trained properly. I'm glad you bring that up. I don't know much. I know one thing. The experts are not here.
Right,
the experts were not developed here. So if I ever go in for acupuncture, it's somebody who can show me the credentials that they pass through the schooling that go back there. I ain't going to nobody who go to school in Miami. You're losing your mind too.
That's right.
But the point is, that is one. I have to take my hat off. I wish I was younger. Maybe I'll go and try and learn it because it works. Not all the time, but it works a good bit of the time.
I'm not going to try and learn it.
I'm
going to go and try it. Not to learn it, but to
try.
But
what I'm saying, me I am caregiver. I need to learn how to do this as a part of the thing. Because what I'm finding now, though, apparently the person who is getting the acupuncture done, it depends on the state of his mind. Not that he's crazy or anything, the way his brain and his psyche is, the makeup, there's a specific makeup that's tend to do well with this modality.
I think that must
I don't think it's something for most.
No, well, I think that's for me then, Doc, because, unlike you with the big brain, my one is normal size or smaller.
It's a no-brainer. Listen to me. You are an intelligent human being. There's no question. But unless that training have some rum in it, I don't think we will do well unless part of the training involves rum. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
No, but I would recommend it. In short, I'm saying from a reputable person.
Yes.
Not somebody who tell you, this one time you need to know credentials. And I don't want nobody who went Trinidad and learned this. You come from somewhere down in where the legends are, the people who really know to teach this, where it has passed down from century to century, over the centuries. Indeed. I will be willing to somebody who's trained there with good recommendations. I wouldn't mind going for acupuncture. The one thing I ain't doing is no hypnotism.
All right.
I'm crazy already.
We're not even going to go down the road with that one.
Right. Listen, if you have a few minutes before we end, remember we have something to talk about, what we are planning to do, if you think it's the right time to do this. A little synopsis. So should we save it for another program?
Let's save that for another time, Doc.
Right.
All right.
Right. But remember, we're going on a little rest.
Yes.
You told me that.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of season 2 of Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. We'll be on a 1-month break. So for the month of April, we will continue on our path of research and planning for the next phase of both the podcast and the Caribbean American Connection. And just to give you a little preview, some other things that we'll be working on. So again, we thank you as always for your participation. Doc, what are you saying?
Yeah, how many episodes have we done so far approximately, Tyrell?
We are, I think, including season 1?
Yeah.
I think we're at about 32 or 33 episodes.
Right. The point I want to make is that It's recorded.
Oh, absolutely.
You can go back during this month, go back and listen to the ones that are your interest.
Yes.
That's one thing I love this over radio program. It's
That's right.
there, it's available to you free of charge, and you need to be telling all your friends and things about this, because when you see my brother, who's very hard on me, the same one where you mess me up with it and talk about analogy. That's my big brother. He always analyze what I do. Apparently, he's pretty pleased with it. He tell me that every time he listens to the program, he has learned at least one new thing. And we can't ask for nothing more than that.
Excellent.
If you can learn a little something from this, again, not to make you a physician, but to make you a good historian. You could tell your doctor what is happening. And you could understand what he's telling you. You interfered with me before too. And you're what? You're a chiropractor, and who is the one you want to go to with the little and them?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again.
All right. Your caregivers.
Your caregivers.
That cover everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, as Doc mentioned, we encourage you to go back and listen to the previous episodes. You have season 1, you'll have season 2, and again, we're taking a little break, and then we'll be back in May with season 3 of Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. This program,
bigger and better.
This program has been presented and produced by the Caribbean American Connection. Until next season.
We appreciate your time with us on Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join us next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms. Doc is back. Although the host and guests are qualified professionals, they assume no responsibility for inaccuracies, omissions, inconsistencies, and any slight of people or organizations. Listeners should use their own judgment or consult an expert or their personal physician for specific applications to their individual medical problems.